My name is Brooke. I'm a personal trainer at the Women's Club, although some of you might know me better from my time in the water department. I know that a lot of us have joint issues that make it difficult to do high impact exercises. So I just wanted to share with you in my basement here today a body weight workout where we'll be using the weight of our body as resistance to challenge ourselves and gain some strength. I'll try to provide lots of modifications as we go, so if something doesn't feel good, you can always try one of the modifications or adjust it to make sure that you're feeling no pain. We don't want any pain at all during this. All right, so let's start with our feet on the floor, hip width apart, and we will slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time, to the mat. Scoot your feet in a little closer to your body. And now we're going to slowly push up into a plank position. You're engaging your glutes. You're feeling strong through your core. Now we'll slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time until you are just hovering above the mat. Now go ahead and push up into that bridge position again. So we're really concentrating on working those glutes. Lower down. And now push up. You should be in a nice straight line from your knees down to your shoulders. You can feel those shoulders pushing into the mat as you come up into that bridge position. And now slowly relaxing down just to hover. Let's do a couple more here. Pushing up. Nice and stable at the top. And now relaxing on the way down. And one final bridge here. Up. And now coming all the way down to the floor, one vertebrae at a time. Now this time, we'll do another set of bridges, and if you'd like, you can add on to the bridges. So we'll slowly push up into that bridge. If you feel comfortable, we'll lengthen one leg. Now back to the floor, and slowly lower down just to hover. Now push up into your bridge, and we'll lengthen that other leg out nice and long. Bring your foot to the floor, and now lower down to hover. Let's do a few more of these. Up into our bridge, extend, down, and then lower down to hover. And once again, up, extend, down, and lower down to hover. Now as you extend that leg, you can feel the leg that's on the floor working really hard to stay stable. Good job. One more. Coming up, extend, down, and now we'll do one final one on the other side. Up into that bridge, extend nice and long, down to the floor, and slowly lower all the way down. Good. Now just bring your knees into your chest and rotate those knees around in a nice circle, giving your back a little massage here. And just reverse direction. Good. Now just bring your hands below your thighs and we'll pull up into a seated position. Now we're going to go ahead and come onto our tummies for some push-ups. Now you may be saying, no way, Brooke, am I doing push-ups? So if you do not like being in a traditional push-up formation, you can bring your knees to the floor. You can either bring a pillow under those knees or you can fold your mat over. So we're going to put our hands right under our shoulders, push up into your push-up position, your plank position, either high or low, and then we'll come down and push back up. So either way is good. You're concentrating on keeping that core activated as you come down and slowly back up. So you can inhale on the way down exhale on the way up. Feel your core engaging. Your glutes are engaged. You're working your chest, just slow and controlled. Just a couple more here. Nice and long, all the way from your heels up through the crown of your head. Great, now just slowly lower down, and we'll come all the way back into a child's pose. Just relaxing here, stretching out nice and long. Good, now let's change our push-ups a little bit. So we'll come into the push-up, either up high or down low in that plank position. And then we're going to rotate to the side. So if I'm down low, I extend that top leg nice and long. Slowly back, and then go the other way. If you're in your high position, to the side, and back. Push up, to the side, and back. So let's do a push-up between each rotation. Using that core to stay stable. And one more each side. Good job. Now lower down to the bottom. And just relax back again into that child's pose. Knees are out wide. Just sinking into your hips here. Great. Now let's come down onto our tummies. So we're going to extend our arms behind us with our palms facing up. Toes are pointed toward the mat here. And we're going to raise up our chest. So we're raising through our shoulders. You're working your shoulders and your back as you come up into a cobra position and relax back down. You're not leading with your head and neck. You're leading with your shoulders. Up and down. So we're concentrating on our back here. Just a couple more. Try not to let that neck bend and arch. Stay in a nice long line. Great. Now let's just come up here. And we're going to do a few side planks. So these will be fun. We're coming over to our side. Nice and long. Now if you do a traditional side plank, your hand is beneath your shoulder and you're coming up nice and long into that position. If that feels like a little much, and it often bothers my wrist, so I often like to do mine on my elbow, and you can bring those knees back behind you. So you're in a nice long line to your knees, planking up. Whichever way works better for you is just great. Then we're going to take that top leg and come up and down, then slowly lower the plank to the floor. So push up into your plank. Bring that top leg up, lower, and now relax down to the floor. And again, plank up. Raise the top leg, and come on down with your plank. Just slow and controlled. Try not to sink into your shoulder. If you feel yourself collapsing into that shoulder, try to think of that shoulder as being nice and stacked and strong. let's come on over to the other side. So we'll lengthen out long. Again, hand is below your shoulder, so you can either come into a long and straight side plank, or you can do it on your elbow with your knees drawn back and your thighs pretty much in parallel to the front of the mat. So either way, you push up into that plank, strong through the core. Now raise that top leg and slowly lower. And then relax down to the bottom. So push up into plank. We'll raise our leg, lower, and bring our plank to the floor. Think about that shoulder, staying nice and strong. We're working our outer thighs here too. We're getting a little bit of everything. Push up. Raise that leg. Just a couple more here, ladies. And down. And one more. Up into that plank. Raise that leg. Slowly lower and relax down to the mat. Great. So let's come back onto our tummies again. This time we're going to fold our arms in front, and we'll just go ahead and rest our forehead on our arms. So again, we're going to lead with our shoulders and our elbows and come up and then down. You're keeping your rib cage glued to the mat. You're engaging your core. Slow and controlled. Just a couple more like this. Good. Now we're going to change that a little bit. So arms are still folded in front. We'll bring our forehead to our hands, and this time we're going to raise at an angle. Rotating one way, then the other way. Now if you want, you can lift the leg opposite the rotation, as long as you keep those hips pressed into the mat. So we don't want you to be feeling this in your lower back. If you start to feel like you are arching that back, then take the leg motion out of the move. Couple more. Good. Yay. So now here we are back on our hands and knees. We're going to push up into plank again. So you are either going to be in a plank on your knees or in a full high plank. Either way is good. Concentrate on that core. And now we're going to reach over and tap our fingertips to our opposite shoulder. One side, then the other side. So you can really feel those core muscles working. Try to keep that neck nice and long. Try to relax your jaw. I know if you're like me, you feel a little tight there. Sometimes it helps if you can smile or laugh at yourself a little bit. Couple more. One side, then the other side. Good job, ladies. Now lower on down. Great. We're going to come all the way up now. So you don't have to use your mat for this segment. Let's come into some side squats. Or side lunges. We'll do our squats later. So here we are, lengthened out. Now when I lunge, I try to make sure that my knee is not going to come forward of my toes. It's pretty much in line with my ankle there. So I come down and hold here. Then I'm going to come up and balance. So I lunge, hinging forward at the hips, and then come up, whoop, to balance. Now you might notice something like that going on, right? Especially after all of that work we just did. Good. Now if this feels like, oh, there is no way, Brooke, that I'm coming into this lunge, you can always just step wide and then pull up to balance. So see what your knee feels like. You decide. One more here. Good. Now let's just shake those legs out a little bit. And now we'll try the other side. So we'll come into that lunge position. Taking stock of where my knee is here. Am I in a good position? Don't want to be too far forward. And then push up into that balance. Lunging and coming up to balance. Remember, you can always just step wide if the full lunge is sort of bothering your knee. Couple more. And our final one here, coming up to balance. Good job. Now let's do a few squats. And if you're saying to yourself, there is no way I'm squatting today, Brooke, there might be a way. So first let's start by a traditional squat, right? We'll settle back into our hips and settle back into our heels. So we come down, letting your weight shift toward your heels, and then push up. So we settle back and then come up. Now, if that feels like it's a little much for you, you can use your chair as a guide. So you would squat down just to the point where you feel that chair. Try not to settle all the way into your chair. And then come up to standing. Settling back on those heels toward the chair and then coming up. And in fact, if you want, you can keep those hands on your thighs and use your hands to push you back up. Right? So you can use those hands to help you out if you need to. So now, we are either going to do our squats traditionally or using your chair. And if you want to make it a little bit more interesting or a little more challenging, you can come down into that squat and then add a leap and come down softly to stabilize. Leap and stabilize. Leap and stabilize. Remember, if you're not quite wanting to leap with me here, that's okay. You're having fun with your squats. Landing softly each time. Good job. Now stand up nice and tall. Shake those legs out a little. Boy, I really feel all my leg muscles working now. This is great work for our glutes. So now we're going to do one more set of squats, which you can either do using your chair, squatting without the chair, squatting and leaping, right? Or there's another option. You can come down into the full squat, then shoot back into a plank, nice and strong, and back to the squat, coming up. And then we come down, shoot back, back to the squat, and slowly come up. So let's do a few more of these, whichever way you prefer. Concentrating on those glutes. If you're doing a shoot back too, then you're trying to stay strong in your plank as well. And just one more. Yay! We did it. So let's close out our little body weight workout with some balance. So I'm going to balance first on my left leg. I'll bring my right leg to the front with a pointed toe. I'm going to slowly move that leg to the side and back to the front. Now remember, we're moving slowly here. If you move too quickly, then you're using momentum to help you. And we want to be challenging our balance, right? I'm sure that's what you're thinking. Couple more. If you need to tap down, that's okay. We just did a lot of leg work. So those legs are kind of a little feeling tired, I would expect. Mine are. Now let's relax down. Shake out both legs. The standing leg is the one that was doing most of the work there. So now let's balance on our right leg. We'll bring the left one to the front with that pointed toe and slowly come to the side and then back to the front. So I'm trying to keep my hips nice and level as I do this so that I'm not sinking into one side or the other, but trying to stay just stable the whole way. You might discover that one side feels really different from the other side. And that's totally normal. Or that's what I tell myself all the time. I think it is. So a couple more. Almost there. Good job, ladies. Woohoo! We did our little body weight workout. So now let's do a few stretches. So you can come over toward your handy dandy chair here. And we will just lengthen out into sort of a lunge position here. So one leg is long, the other leg is bent, and we're just going to lean down into that bent leg. You can either put your hands on your knee, or you can extend down low, even to as low as the floor if you want. Feeling that stretch in the inner thigh of the leg that's long and close to straight. Now come up. Let's do the other side. So we lengthen out long. We're going to lean down either to the knee or down a little further, depending on what feels good to you, till you can feel that stretch in your inner thigh. Good, now slowly come up here. We'll just bring one ankle to our opposite knee. Now lean forward a little bit. Do you feel the stretch in your outer thigh and hip? Now, if this bothers your hip, right, you can bring this down a little lower. So listen to your body, it's up to you. Now we'll try the other side. Bring your ankle to your knee. Lean forward, feel that stretch. It always feels so good to stretch at the end. Now come up. We'll lengthen one leg out nice and long. Foot is flexed. And I'm going to lean down and forward till I find that hamstring stretch. Nice deep breaths. And now slowly coming up, we'll do the other side. Leaning forward. Feeling that stretch in your hamstring. And then coming slowly up. Now go ahead and just make your way to a doorway. You know, we all have doorways here and there in our homes. So we're going to lean, set our arm against the doorway, and then just lean forward until you can feel that stretch through your chest. We did quite a few push-ups. So this will be a good, nice long stretch here. Now relax, and let's try the other side. Coming to the other side of the door, lean in and forward just a little bit until you can feel that stretch in your chest. Great, relax. So we did it. I just want to thank you so much for coming and doing this workout with me. I really had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. I miss you all so much. And I'm looking forward to working out with you in person at the Women's Club sometime soon. I hope that you have a fabulous day. Bye.